Okay, so basically in this class we are going to see some of the syntax of basic SQLs. So the first one is SQL select. Select is basically used to, as the name suggests, select is basically used when you want to select from any particular table or maybe from different table. So select is basically to select the rows from tables. So let's say I have a table called student, and in this student table I have multiple columns. So using this select query, I can select all the rows and all the columns of a particular table. So if let's say I want to select all the columns of a particular column, in this case what the syntax I need to write? I need to write select star. This star represent as all columns. I want all columns. So whenever I want to select all the columns from one table or maybe from multiple table, we are going to see in the class of join. But for now we are mainly going to focus on this on one table. So whenever we want to select all the columns from a particular table, in that case I need to write select and this star symbol. Select star from and then the name of the table. So in this case what I need to write? I need to write select star from student, because student is the name of the table. The select from is the termed as keywords. Keywords means which we have predefined values in our SQL language. So select star from student. So it is going to select or print all the values of all the columns and all the rows of this student table. Okay. Let's say I have a student table, and this time I don't want to select all the columns. I just want to select ID, maybe multiple columns will be there, and let's say name and address. I don't want to select all the columns. I just want to select this ID, name and address. So what I need to write? I need to write select, and specifically I need to define all the column names separated with comma. So let's say I want to select ID and name only. So I will write ID, comma name from student table. Okay. So in this case what it is going to do? It is going to list all the rows, all rows, but only two columns, ID and name values it is going to print. Let's use this in a practical. So this is my database. I will connect the data, one of the database. I can try this select query actually. So let's say use this product management table. In this database I have two tables, category and product. So let's say I want to design a database for a e-commerce site. So obviously there will be some products which I want to sell, and those products will become under separate category. So what I have is I have a product table. So I will write select. Is it visible? I think it will be select star from product table. So I will write select star from product. So as you can see now that I have selected all the columns and all the rows from this product table. So these are on total we have 6 rows and we have 6 columns. So all the rows and all the columns is going to print in our tool. Now let's say I don't want to select all the columns. I am only interested in this product ID and the name of the product. So what I need to write? I need to write select. As you can see here that this select and from is in blue color. This is indicating that these are the keywords of SQL. So select product ID, and if you want to show this intelligence, then what you need to do is you need to specify the name of the table first, and after that you can remove this star mark, and instead of that you can now write. Now you can see that we have intelligence showing the columns name one by one. So let's say I want to product ID and product name. So product name. So in this case what it is going to do is it is going to print all the rows, all the 6 rows, but only 2 columns, product ID and product name. So by using this product column name specifically, we can define the columns which we are interested in. Okay. Now one more thing. In both of these cases, we have selected 6 rows. Here we have 6 rows and here we also have 6 rows, right? So is there any way to filter these rows? I mean, I don't want 6 rows. I only want top 2 rows or top 3 rows. So in that case, what can I do? I need to use the where clause. Where clause. So by using this where clause, I can filter the rows. So we are going to see in our next, but for now it is enough for select query. So select is basically to select all the rows and all the columns specifically. And if I want to select only particular columns, then I need to specify the name of the columns in that order. And it is not mandatory that the order, this order should be matched. I can write product ID here as well. So this is not a big deal. I can show the columns name as I want. So this is all about for now select. Next we have select SQL select column. So we already have seen this one, that how we can specifically define column names. I am interested in product name and product ID only. So I can use this column name. Next one is SQL distinct. Distinct means unique. Let's say I have a student table. I have a student table, and by mistake I have entered the same student details 2 times. Let's say student ID, name, and whatever the other fields. So let's say ID is 1, name is Khushbu, and then again we have ID 1, name is Khushbu, or maybe ID is 2, because it is as a primary key and primary key cannot contain duplicate values, right? But the name is same and all the other things are also same. This is because this identity, this primary key is identity column, right? We have already learned about this identity column. It is going to increment the value and set the value automatically. I don't need to specify. Okay, let's say address is India, and this is basically the same student, but by mistake I have entered the name 2 details, I mean 2 rows by mistake. So I have entered the details and submitted the details by mistake 2 times. So distinct is basically used to select only unique values. Only unique values. Okay, so let's again take the same example. We have a product table. Here we do not have any, here we don't have any duplicate values, but let's say insert one more data into this, insert into product, and then what we need to define is, let's this mouse will be inserted 2 times, let's suppose. So what I need to do is insert into product, and we already have talked about this insert query, how to write this insert query. Then in this I can specify all the values one by one. So let's say category id is again 4, and product name is mouse, and mouse is of string type. Then I need to specify this mouse mouse, and then we have quantity of, let's say, 7, and price something like 200, and description is something not defined. Let's insert one more data to this. Now again select this. So as you can see now that we have product name 2 times, the same mouse, and obviously we need to insert only one at a time, right? This is duplicate data. We have inserted the same data, but quantity and category and product id can be different, but mouse is a unique product, right? So only one row can be enough for that. We do not need this mouse 2 times. So by mistake this has happened. Now what this distinct is going to do, let's say I want to select only distinct product name. What are the distinct, what are the unique product names in my database? So what I can do is I will simply write select star from product. It is going to select all the products, and now I want to select distinct unique product names. I need to write distinct. What I want to unique, I want unique product name. So I need to write unique product name from product table. So now as you can see here that we have total 7 rows now in our product table, but product name gives only 6 rows. This is because mouse is of 2 times, and this is going to print only unique values. So here we have mouse only 1 time. Now let's say if I will write product id comma product name, what it is going to do now? Is it going to print 6 rows again, or is it going to print 7 rows? It is going to print 7 rows. Why is this? Because as you can see that mouse is same, but the id of these two is different, right? So it is going to distinct as a group. If I have a product id with 10 and again the product name as mouse, then it is going to print only one value. But at this time as you can see that we have product id 10 and product name mouse, but this is different. Product id is 1002 and product name is mouse. So the product name is same, but the id is different, right? So whatever the columns I will define here, it is going to distinct, it is going to unique all by group. So via looking all these values of product id and product name, if it is same, then only it is going to remove the duplicates values. So distinct is basically used to select unique values, whether I want to select all the unique products, all the unique categories, all of those. Let's say I have a customer table, and in this customer table I am going to write customer name and the product name. So whatever this customer has bought, let me just create a table. Let's say Khushbu has bought mouse and then again Khushbu has bought, buy some, let's say, car, and again Kriti has bought something, buy something else, let's say laptop. So I want to see unique customer name has bought every, unique values of products. So let's say for Khushbu, whatever the product has been buy by this Khushbu, let's say mouse has been buy by 2 times. Let's say again Khushbu buy one more mouse. So this can be multiple times, but I want unique value. So this can only be printed as Khushbu about, by mouse, only one time it is going to print if I specify this distinct keyword. So this is again a keyword used to select unique values. So as you can see, this is also in blue. Now we have where clause. So as of now we have only specified, if I want to select all the columns, then I will write select star, and if I just want these 2 columns, then I need to write select and the name of the columns, right? So it is only going to filter the columns. Now what happened if, let's say, if I will write select star from product. So as you can see, we have a total 7 products. Now I don't want all of that products. I'm only interested in this mouse product details. So this is has product ID 10, category of 4, product name mouse, quantity is currently 5. So what if I am only interested in this mouse, not all the others data? So by using this where clause, we can filter the rows. Until now we have only filtered the columns name. If I want all the columns, I will select star. If I will separately write the column name specifically. So but where clause is basically used to filter the rows. So let's say I'm only interested in this product called mouse. So how I can write? So I need to write select star, and I want all the details of this product mouse. So I will write select star from product where what I know about this product. I only know, what is unique in this row. As we have learned that primary key is a key which is going to distinct all the other rows from each other, right? So primary key value is always going to be unique, not null, right? So in this case, mouse is of 2 times, right? And I am not interested in this mouse details. I am interested in this mouse product details. So what I can need to write is, I need to define one of column which is unique. So obviously the product ID is unique in this column. So I will write where product ID is equals to 10. So now as you can see here that we have selected only one row of this mouse product. Now I don't want all the rows, all the columns of this product called mouse. I am only interested in the name of the mouse and the current quantity which it has. So I need to specify select product name comma quantity QTY. So now it is going to print only 2 columns of a particular product called mouse. So in this way we can filter the rows, the columns using this where clause. Via using this where clause I can filter the rows, and using this star or the name specifically of each and every column, I can select the particular details or attribute. And this where clause is not only used in select, but this can also be used in delete, comma, update. We are going to see all of them one by one. Select, all of them can be used, will be used using this where clause. Okay, so for now, let's say if I want to delete the product, let's say I want to delete this duplicate mouse, I want to delete this one, right? So what query I need to write? I will write what I want to do. I want to delete, so I will write delete from where I want to delete. I want to delete from the product table. And what it is going to do, if I will execute this, it is going to delete all the rows. It is going to delete all the rows, but I don't want that. I only want to delete this particular. So as I told you that this where clause is basically used to filter our rows. If I will execute something like this, it what it is going to do, it is going to delete all the rows from this product table, but I don't want that. So I need to specify where clause, where product id is equals to 1002. So now this is going to delete only this duplicate mouse value. So let's select this and execute this. One row affected, which basically means that one row has been deleted or updated or selected. So now, as you can see, we have now 6 rows only. The duplicate mouse details has been deleted now. So we can use this where clause to delete, update and select. Let's use this in update. Let's say this mouse spelling is by mistake written something different, or I want this mouse should be in capital letters. So obviously I want to update this product name, but I don't want to update all the product names, right? I only want to update this mouse. So I will write what I want to do. I want to update, so I will write update. Update where I want to update. I want to update from this product table. So update product. And what I want to do, I want to set this mouse in capital letter instead of this small letter. So I will write set product name, and because this is in string type, so I need to specify this. And now I will write mouse in capital letter. But if I will run this, what it is going to do, because we have only specified the product name and the product table. So product name, so all of these 6 rows is going to be affected. I don't want that. I only want to update this one. So again, by using this where clause, we can only filter our rows, right? So now I need to write where product id is equals to 10. When I will execute this, it is going to affect only one row. Again select, then you can see here that our product name has been updated. So via using this where clause, we actually filter our rows based on our requirement. If I want to update all the values of this product name, so I will simply run this query only. But obviously I don't want that, so I will select or insert this where clause. Alright, so I think enough about all where clause now. Now the second one. Task. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. In any software or any, are you talking about that? Mm-hmm. In a software, are you talking about? In a software or in a web application? Okay, okay, okay. So obviously, now okay, okay. Obviously, as we are just learning SQL, but for developing this software and this web application, we need to learn some middleware, right? Middlewares. Let's say if I want to develop a web application, I need to learn PHP, .NET, or Java, or others are. Obviously, for developing this, we need to have some this middleware, and we need to learn that as well. But for now, we are only going to use this our tool called MS SQL. So for now, we cannot print this data to the browser or to the PDF format or to the other Excel formats. For now, we are only going to show this result in our database only. So that's not possible right now. Okay, now the next one is task select and where. So we have already seen this one, that if using this where clause, I want to select only specific columns. So this is what it is all about. Now select SQL and or not. This is important now. SQL and or not. So in our C++ classes, we have learned something called what was that? Conditions. So we have taken a very simple example that if I am a vegetarian and want to go to a restaurant, so the first condition would be that if the hotel is a vegetarian or a restaurant is a vegetarian, if if restaurant is vegetarian, then only I will enter, and after entering I will check if the dishes were tasty, then I will order only. So these kind of conditions we have in our real life example, right? So we can have, basically what I'm trying to say is that in our real life example we have multiple conditions, right? Multiple conditions. In our day to day life we have multiple conditions to perform any task. Let's say in the morning I will wake up at naturally 5 a.m., but if I'm not feeling happy or I'm not feeling well, so I will wake up at 7 a.m., right? So this is one condition. Now the second one, if it is urgent that I need to go office, then I will definitely wake up in the morning. If it is not urgent, I can take a leave, then I will wake up in 7 a.m. So obviously for doing a simple task or maybe only one task, we can have multiple conditions, right? We can have multiple conditions. So in the same way, let's say in our query, I want something, a result, and to achieve this result, I need to check some of the conditions, maybe one or maybe two or maybe hundreds, I don't know, but there can be multiple conditions, right? So via using this and or not, we are going to apply those conditions. We are going to apply those conditions. So let's say select star from product. Okay. Now let's say I want to select all the products of category ID 4. Category ID 4. So what it is going to print? It is going to show these two result, mouse and keyboard, sorry. So let's actually perform this. Select star from product where category ID is equals to 4. Okay, so this is our first condition. This is our first condition. Now these products have 5 and 12 as a quantity. Keyboard has 12 quantity and mouse has 5 quantity. Now one more condition I want to apply. I want to check basically that in our product table, I want all the products which have category ID 4 and the quantity of the product should be greater than 10. Should be greater than 10. So basically we have two conditions now, and we can use this where clause only one time. Only one time. What will happen if I will write where category ID is equals to 4, where again I will try to write where quantity is greater than 10. Is it going to accept this? No. If I will scroll this, it is showing that incorrect syntax near where. This is basically is trying to say is that we already have used this where clause and I cannot use this where clause multiple times in the same query. So what else I need to apply here? So now the next here. I have used this 4 and greater than 0, greater than 10, right? So I want only those products which have category ID 4 and quantity should be or must be, not should be, must be greater than 10. So I want these two conditions should be always true. Only then only those rows should be shown, right? So in this case I will simply write and. So now it is going to check if category ID is equals to 4 as well as quantity should be greater than 10. So what do you think? How many rows is going to be printed? So as you can see that category ID 4 is here in mouse and keyboard. But obviously keyboard has greater than 12 but 5 is less than 10, right? So only this keyboard product is going to be selected. So here we go. We have a product ID 12, keep product name as a keyboard only because category ID is 4 in this mouse but the quantity is not greater than 5, right? Now what happened if I will write or here? In the case of or, what it is going to do? In the case of or, what it is going to do? Whatever it is here condition, let's say condition 1, condition 2. So if any one of the condition is became true, it is going to select that row. So let's say if category ID is 4 but quantity is not greater than 10, it is just 5. So it is again going to insert, display this. Let's say category ID is not 4 but quantity is greater than 10, which means 12. Category ID is let's say something 3. So it is again going to insert this. So in the case of or, what it is going to do, it is going to, if any one of the condition is became true, it is going to select that particular row. So instead of category or here, I am going to apply or here. Now what it is going to do? So as you can see here, we have product category ID 4, category ID 4. So any one of them has not greater than 10 actually. So let's just modify this one to, let's say 5. Or let's say 3. Now in this case, what it is going to print? So as you can see here, we have category ID 4, category ID 5, category ID 4. Why? We haven't selected this category ID. I don't want category ID 4. But what I have written is or quantity is greater than 0. So any one of the condition will become true, then this is going to select this row. So this top has not a category ID of 4 but it has quantity of 10. So that's why it has been selected here. And now not. Let's say I want to select all the products which have which quantity is not equals to 0 or which is greater than 0, or let's say category id should be not is basically going to reverse it. Let's say I want to select a product where category id is not 4, so all of the others should be selected but category id 4 should not be selected. So in that case I can use this not, where category id is not equals to 4. So as you can see here, it has selected the category id 5. It is the symbol of not equal. So all the other categories has been selected instead of this 4 only. Okay, enough about that. Now aggregate functions. Okay, again come to the same product table. I have product id and the quantity of the products, right? So let's say I want to see which product has the highest quantity. Which product has the highest quantity? So in this case, as you can see here, this product top has quantity of 10, right? So this is the highest one or this is the highest one? Obviously this keyboard is highest one, 12 maximum. So basically what I want to see is maximum quantity. Which product has maximum quantity? Why I want that these kind of why I want to see maximum quantity or minimum quantity, because let's say I am running a e-commerce website, so I need to monitor all of these, right? If some product has a very minimum quantity, I need to purchase some other quantities of this product. If we have a maximum quantity of some product, then let's say I want to make a discount for this so that it is going to be sold out very quickly. So these kind of situations can arise for me because I am running a e-commerce site, right? So in this case, let's say I want to select maximum product quantity. Which product has maximum quantity and which product has minimum quantity? So these kind of things I want to select. So the first one is minimum and maximum. These are actually functions, inbuilt functions. What it is going to do in built functions, let's say in C++, let's say I want to see whether 5 is greater or 6 is greater. So I will simply write if 5 is greater than 6, then 5 is greater, I will print something. Else if 6 is greater than 5, then I will write 6 is greater, right? So obviously we are going to build a code or write a code for this, but as I already discussed that in SQL you do not need to you do not need to bother about anything. You just need to tell the tool that what you want, right? What you want. So let's say I want the maximum quantity of a product which have, right? So for that what I am going to do is I am going to write a query. How can I do that? So I will simply write select quantity from product table. Okay. So this is our product table, and here in this query I only have selected quantity. So what it is going to do is it is going to print all the quantities of all the products. Here it is. So the first product 10 is 5, then 10, 12, 3, 2, 1. I don't want that. I want maximum quantity of a product. Which quantity of a product which have maximum quantity? Maximum. So I will use a function. So as we have seen our C++ example, that what is a function? A function is a set of code which is going to return a value, based on some conditions, right? And whenever I want the same line of code, I am going to call this function, right? So in SQL it is the same. As a function is basically a set of code which has already been written. We don't need to bother about that. So a function is already written there. It is going to accept some parameters. Let's say I want to select the maximum quantity. So I need to specify what column I want maximum. Let's say I want the product ID as a maximum. So in this case, as you can see, we have a product ID 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So it is going to return 15. In this case, it is going to return 12. So obviously this function is going to accept some parameter. Based on that parameter, it is going to print our output, right? Let's say I want maximum quantity. So I need to specify within this bracket as quantity. I need to pass that column. So now it is what it is going to do. It is going to look each and every quantity. Let's say we have 1, then 5, then 9, then 3. So what it is going to do, it is going to look for this column. It has one quantity. Okay, so let's store this one. If the second row has maximum value, then it is going to update the value maximum as 5. Then again 9, so it is going to be in a maximum. Then 3. So all of them is going to be evaluated one by one. And whatever the maximum value it is going to see, it is going to return that value. So in this case, it is going to return the value 9 because this is the maximum value of quantity, right? But on the other hand, let's say I want the product ID, maximum product ID. So let's say we have product ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So in this case, again I need to write this maximum function, and inside this function I need to specify the column name, product ID, because I want the maximum product ID. So I need to specify this product ID column. Now again what it is going to do, it is going to first of all go to this table, and it is going to store that one by one value 1. If it is not, then it is going to consider this one, evaluate this one, and one comparison will happen. So if it is greater than this current one, so it is going to be updated one by one. All of the rows is going to be checked, and if whatever the maximum value it got, it is going to return that value. So let's say in this case I want the maximum quantity. So what I need to write, I will write maximum value, then this bracket sign, and inside this I need to specify a column name. I want the maximum quantity, so I will write quantity. Now it is going to return 12, maximum quantity as 12. Let's say I want maximum value of this product ID. So instead of this quantity, I will write product ID. So what it is going to do, it is going to print the maximum product ID. So we have 15 as a maximum, right? So it has printed 15. Instead of max, let's say I want minimum. So I will write minimum, MIN. So these are the functions. So when I will select this, it is going to show the minimum product ID. Obviously this 10 is the smallest one. Now instead of product, I want minimum quantity of a product. So I will write quantity. It is going to print 1 because this bed has only one quantity. So this is the smallest one in this case of quantity. So based on our parameters, based on our column name, which is we are going to define here, it is going to evaluate that minimum or maximum result. Now one more thing you have noticed is that it is in this column name is basically it says no column name. This is why, Because whenever we create our table for the first time, we all specify the name of the columns, right? So I want this column as an id, this column as a name, this column is etc etc. But for this case, this minimum quantity doesn't have any column name, that's why it is showing no column name. So let's say I want to give a name to it, so I will write as minimum qty. So this is going to be a new name for this result, because this is basically a result. We are not creating anything new. We are accepting, or we are showing, or we are going to result anything based on our existing table. We are not going to create anything new column, any new data. So this as, and then the name of the whatever name I want to give. So this is basically termed as alias name. Alias name. Alias name is basically, let's say my name is Khushbu, but in my home, everyone else is telling me is with different name, right? So this is my real name, this is my official name, but this is just for my home, just for a short version of my name. Let's say someone's in my home, so everybody says KK. So alias name is basically a name given to an existing one. So this minimum quantity is already existing in this table. I only going to evaluate this and I want to give a name to this. So now as you can see, we have a name called mean quantity. So we can give something like this name. Let's say this is a product table, and sometime I don't want to write product. So I can also give a name to this product. So I will write as P. So now for this product table, this new name has been invented called P. So I can give name to each and everything. Let's say I am going to say select here, select product name. Okay, so now you have a product name in this one, right? But I don't want this product name. I want to give a different name, but I don't want to change the structure of a table and rename the table, rename that column. I want a different name just for now. So I will write as p name, pn. So now this is a new name for this product name, only for this query. This table is going to still have this product name in the table structure, but for this query only we have given a new name for this product name column. So basically the conclusion is that we can give a new name mainly termed as alias name to everything, like column. I want to change a column name, and I want to give a new name to a table, to a function, let's say minimum, maximum, result. So I can give a name to them. Okay, let me just plug into my charger. Yes, just a second. Okay, so this is all about minimum and maximum. So we can evaluate the result from our existing data. Okay, now the next thing, count sum average. These are also inbuilt functions. Okay, count. Let me get rid out of this. Okay, now as we can see here that we have different quantities for different products. We have product ID 10 and quantity of 5. Then we have top, then quantity of 10, keyboard of 12, jeans of 12. Let's say if I am running a e-commerce site, then in case maybe I am interested to know how many total products I have. How many total products I have. Okay, so for this case, as we can see here, we have total 6 products, right? We are dealing only for 6 products, but for, let's say, there will be a very large amount of database and I cannot see something like this one here. I need to know how many products in total, right? So how can we do that? We are going to use this count function. This count function is going to perform our task. This is going to count one by one row and give the result of that count. So let's say if I have 6 products, so it is going to manually count all of them, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it is going to return 6. Total 6 products you have. Right? So just quickly do that actually. Count. And again, this is also a function, so I need to specify a column within this. And this column, what I can do is I can also pass this product ID, because all the products will have different product ID. So I can specify this product ID. So all the product count, this count function is going to count all the products IDs one by one. So first it is going to go here, count 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is going to return 6. And again I want to name this result as total product. This is the name to this result. So execute this. So here we go, we have total 6 products. Now the next one, sum. Count and sum is basically different. In case of count, it is going to count the row one by one. But in case of sum, it is going to add the values. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this sum one we have 2, 3, 4. So in the case of count, what it is going to return? It is going to return the value of count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is going to return 6. But in case of sum, it can be compared as of addition, right? So it is going to add this 1. Okay, so we have 1. Then in the next row we have 2. So it is going to add the previous as 1 plus 2. Then we have plus 3. Then we have plus 4. So all of the rows is going to be sum and then return. So 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. Plus 1, 10. So it is going to return sum. So let's say if I am going to run my e-commerce business and I am interested in to know how many total products we have. Not count, but the value. How many total quantity I have. Let's say I have keyboards of 10. Let's say mouse I have 50. So I want how many total quantity of products do I have. So in this case, I cannot use this count, because this count is going to return the count value. But I am interested to know how many total quantities of those products I have. So instead of this count, I will write sum, And now I cannot use this product ID because this product ID is basically to uniquely identify each product, but the actual value of quantity is written within this column QTY, right? So total sum product 33. So what it has actually done is that select star from product. So we have total quantity called 5 plus 10 plus 12 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So it is going to sum all of these values and return those, that sum value. Okay. And the average. As in mathematics we have learned what is average is. Let's say I have 10 number. I want average of this number. So what it is going to return? It is going to return 5, right? So let's say price value has some value in this product table. Let's say some product has price of 500, then 200, then 600, then 900. So I am interested to know what is the average price of my products, so that I can uh, create a banner so that I can create a banner that start your purchase within minimum value of 300 or average value of just 900, which basically means that I'm going to I'm interested in the average price. So what I'm going to write here, I will write AVZ, and then in this column I can specify the price. So whatever the average price of these products will be, it is going to return. All right. And again, one more thing, I can also specify where clause here. Let's say I want the product count or the quantity of products of only category ID 4. I am running a e-commerce site, and I let's say e-commerce has some dress materials, some electronics, gadgets, right? So I want to know the products, how many products I have in electronics section. So obviously I need to specify a where clause. Let's say category ID 4 is basically for those electronics. Yes sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't run that because we do not have any value in this price column. So it is going to return the average value, just we calculate in our mathematics. Okay, so what I was talking about, yeah, I was talking about, let's say I am running a e-commerce site and I have electronics section and some dress materials, and I am interested to know how many products we have in this electronics section only. So if I will write select count, or let's say count of product ID, then what it is going to do, it is going to print or it is going to count all the rows, right? But I don't want that. I only interested in electronic section. So let's say category ID 4 denotes this category called electronic section. So I need to specify where category ID is equals to 4. Now what it is going to do, it is going to filter first those rows. It is going to filter those rows. In this case it is going to take this product ID 10 and product ID 12 because we have specified a where condition, right? So it is going to consider only these two rows, and now it is going to count the product ID. So it is going to count 1 and 2, so it has written 2. So if I specify a where clause, then it is going to filter those rows. It is not consider, it is no more going to consider all the rows, but it is going to filter those rows, and whatever the value of count, then it is going to return based on this filtered values. So let's say I have 100 rows or 1000 rows in a data in a table, but I have specified a where condition, and this where condition have applied and only 3 rows has been selected. So now this count is going to apply on only these 3, not the whole rows of this table. So this is basically something like, let's say I have open a stall of, let's say, chow mein, and the first condition is that the person should be a female. The person should be a female only. So I am going to sell these chow mein only for female category. Let's say in our crowd we have some men, we have some females, right? So the first condition what I have applied is the person should be a female. So this female will come here, this female will come here, this female will come. So here we have total 5, but here we have only 3, right? So only 3 chow mein I need total. So in the same way, this where condition is going to apply first, that whatever the value this category id 4 is, and now this count value is going to apply. I hope you understand that. Is there any doubt? Okay, then move on to our next one. Now aggregate functions. An aggregate function allows you to perform a calculation on a set of values to return a single scalar value. Scalar means only one. So we basically have already used this minimum, maximum, count. These are all termed as aggregate functions, because the first thing it is going to do is it is going to group the rows, and based on that group it is going to return some minimum or some maximum values. So here we have average. Average, calculate the average of a set of values. Count rows, it is going to count the value of rows basically. And then this minimum is going to get the minimum value, whatever the column I will specify here, the minimum value of that column is going to be printed. Same as maximum, sum, all of these are termed as aggregate functions. Okay, so enough for today.